Good afternoon, guys. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we were discussing a paper yesterday, right? We'll continue with it. And then we'll go to the next paper discussion. Yeah. Shall we get started? So what was the last problem we were discussing yesterday?
So
I think
we
this
completed till 41, I guess.
Yeah, 41 is the last question I'm able to see. Let's finish it fast. Then we'll go to 42. So the 42nd one. So there is an object which is moving with a uniform acceleration, has a velocity of 12 centimeter per second. Centimeter per second in the positive x direction when its x coordinate is 3 centimeter. If its x coordinate 2 centimeter later is minus 5 centimeter, what is the magnitude of its acceleration? How to solve this? So how to solve this? So what is acceleration? That's what we need to find. Has a velocity u is equal to 12 centimeter per second in the positive x direction, and the x coordinate at that instant is equal to 3 centimeter. Its x coordinate 2 seconds later is minus 5 centimeter. So after t is equal to 2 seconds, its x coordinate is minus 5 centimeter. Now, what is the magnitude of the acceleration? So how to do this, guys? S is equal to ut plus half at square, because they use the word uniform acceleration. So what is the total displacement of the object? So the total displacement of the object, can I say it is
minus a?
Yes, it is minus 5 minus 3, that is minus 8, is equal to initial velocity is 12. Everything is in centimeters, so I'm not converting it, into how much is the time? It is 2 seconds later, plus half into acceleration of the object is what we need to find, into the time square is 4, correct? So this will become 2 times. This is 24, comes to the other side, minus 32 is equal to 2 times a is equal to minus 16, and this is the answer. Right? So that is the answer in terms of centimeter per second square. Can I go a little faster?
Yes, sir.
Done. Okay, listen, guys. 43rd. There is a ball that starts from rest and accelerates at 5 meters per second. Oh, I think it's a similar question, right? Oh, but In the previous two cases, it was velocity and acceleration they asked. Okay. So there is a ball that starts from rest. So u is equal to 0 and accelerates at 0.5 meters per second. That is half meter per second square while moving down an inclined plane of 9 centimeters. So the displacement is 9 centimeter. When it reaches the bottom, the ball rolls up another plane where it, after moving 15 meters, comes to rest. How many seconds does it take for the ball to roll down the first inclined plane? So what is the final velocity with which it is reaching down? V square minus u square is equal to 2as. So v square minus u square is 0. 2 into acceleration is half into displacement is 9. So v is equal to 3 meter per second, correct? So you'll apply v is equal to u plus at or v by a is equal to t. So v is 3 divided by acceleration is half is equal to t. So it takes a total of 6 seconds to reach the bottom. I hope you're clear, right? Just give me a minute, I'll be back. So I hope you guys have copied it. What about the next one? So there is a vehicle that travels half the distance with a speed of v1. See, wherever the word speed comes, right? What is the keyword for it? So what does that mean? Wherever you see the word speed, acceleration is 0. Have that in your mind, okay? So there is a vehicle that travels half the distance with a speed of v1 and the other half with the speed of v2. Half the distance L. Half the distance L means, yeah, half the distance is L. Then its average speed is. So what is the formula for average speed? Total distance by total time. So what is the total distance the object travels to L? What is the total time, guys? L divided by V1 plus L divided by V2. Because time is equal to distance by speed. Correct? So L will get cancelled. You will have V1, V2 divided by V1 plus V2. This is the answer. Is there an option? Oh, 2 is there, sorry. 2V1, V2 divided by V1 plus V2. So 44th, the option is this. I hope everybody is clear with why I wrote the denominator like this. Right? Okay,
Yes,
moving. That's good. So moving on to the next one, 45th question. So the assertion is if the percentage error in measuring the size of a sphere is plus or minus 1%, the error in its volume will be plus or minus 3%. Correct? See, volume of a sphere is 4 by 3 pi r cube. Delta V by V is equal to 3 times delta r by r. So here, if the error in the radius is 1%, 1 multiplied with 3 will give you 3%. So assertion is right. So what about the reason? Reason is also right and it is the right explanation for A. 46th. AU, what does AU stand for? AU stands for astronomical unit. So what does astronomical unit mean? So astronomical unit is the mean distance between the center of the sun and the earth. Okay. So obviously it is going to be greater than A. Here A actually should have been this angstrom. Okay. And AU stands for astronomical unit and angstrom stands for A with a circle on top stands for angstrom. So this is true. This is true. But tell me one thing, is the reason the right explanation for A? Do you think the reason is the right explanation for A? Answer is
No, sir.
no. Because here they are talking about the subject is bigger. Here they are trying to say what that unit is. Right? So it doesn't make sense. 47th. A negative acceleration of a body can be associated with the speeding up of the body. Is that right? A negative acceleration of a body can be associated with the speeding up of the body. Means it can talk about the speed of the object. Is it right or wrong? It is true. Because acceleration is negative, it says that the speed of the object is decreasing. Similarly, the increase in speed of a moving body is independent of the direction of motion. Is it right or wrong? This is also true. Think of a car, whether you move in X direction, Y direction, or anything, if you're speeding up the car, you're saying you're speeding up the car. It has nothing to do with the direction. Okay. So both are true, but what do you think is the right answer? Is A the right answer or B the right answer? Answer is D. Okay. Next one. Displacement of an object may be zero when distance traveled by the object is not zero. Obviously true. The displacement is the longest distance between the initial and the final point. False. So A is true, R is false. 49. There is a bus moving due north which takes a turn and start moving towards the east at the same speed. There will be no change in velocity of the bus. Guys, I want you all to speak or else there is no point of the session. I'll wind up and go off. Better speak. I'm not able to shout. So there is a bus which is moving due north, takes a turn and starts moving towards east at the same speed. There will be no change in velocity of the bus. Is it right?
No, sir.
Why? They both have the same speed, no? Then why is it not right?
Sir, at the point of turning, sir, at that instant it becomes zero, sir.
Okay. So that is not what they're trying to say. No, I told you one thing, right? What did I say when the speed point comes into picture?
Acceleration.
Acceleration.
Acceleration is zero. Huh? So who told me that the object will come to rest? Who told?
Sir, Nitish.
Nitish. So Nitish, see, to answer your question, yesterday we discussed a problem. You remember a person is running and turning back. So that velocity will become zero only at the instant when there is a change in direction of 180 degrees. Try to understand. So here what is going to happen? The object is going like this and it is instantly taking a turn. For that, there is no necessity for the object to come to rest here. Think about it. Okay, let's say you're going in a cycle. Let's say I'm asking, let's say I put a road track like this. I'm saying you're supposed to drive the cycle. Sorry, not drive, ride the cycle only on that track. I'm saying you have to follow back the track. What will you do? Let's say the track is between the points A and B. From A to B, you will go. At point B, what will you ensure is happening? You will ensure that the brakes are applied for the cycle. Imagine yourself going on this track. Okay. So you put the brake and you'll try to bring the cycle to complete rest and you will take a 180-degree turn. So to take that 180-degree turn only, you're making the velocity zero here. Okay. Wow. Whereas with respect to a perpendicular road like this, let's say you're going in this track and you're supposed to, is there a necessity that you need to make the object come to complete rest here? Nitish, think about it. Not necessary, right? You can slow it down and still turn. So, but since they use the word speed, I'm assuming even that slowing down process has not happened. Okay. So when that is the case, the speed can be the same, but what will happen since they are speaking about the velocity, and the question being change in speed, it's 100% right. But they use the word velocity. So when the word velocity comes, what is getting attached to the term speed? It is the direction. Okay. So suppose the same question is asked like this: V is there, V is there. Can you tell me what is the change in velocity between the points A and C? The change in velocity is Vi cap minus Vj cap. Okay, wow. But the speed value is going to be root 2 times speed. So I'm trying to discuss as many points as possible so that if this question is twisted in your exam, you should be able to answer. Are you guys able to understand? It is root 2 times V. So the answer to this one is false. Velocity is a vector quantity. True. So A is false, R is true. Okay. I think the next one is simple, right? The result of rounding off 34.216 to 3 digits. So 3, 4, and 2 should exist. So after 2, you should drop the numbers. After 2, what is the number that you have? It is
1.
1. So when you drop a 1, what will happen to the 2? Nothing will happen. So the 2 is going to be the same. So 34.2 is the answer. So number of significant figures in this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, there's an NFS game. The highway police chased down and arrested a man accused of a vehicle theft. Okay. He was nabbed after kilometers long chase while trying to flee with a car stolen from the nearby area. The car had been parked with the key still in ignition. The owner raised an alarm on seeing this car being driven away. Okay, the highway police who happened to pass through the area then gave the accused a chase. He then tried to escape after abandoning the car, and the police personnel pursued him. Okay. The police van was moving on the highway with a speed. Again, the word speed. So, speed of the police van is 30 kilometer per hour. Fired a bullet at the thief's car, speeding away in the same direction with a speed of 192 kilometer per hour. Oh, this guy is going with a speed of 192 kilometer per hour. This is the speed of the thief. And the muzzle speed means it is the velocity of the bullet that they are trying to speak about, which is going to be 150 meter per second, which is very, very, very fast. Okay. So what is the speed of the police van in meter per second? So what are we supposed to do? 30 into 5 divided by 18. What will be the answer, guys? What did he get?
8.3.
8.33. What is the speed of the thief's car in meter per second? 192 into 5 divided by 18. Do they both get cancelled?
Okay.
So this should be 10 point something. 10 point slightly greater than 5. So 10 na 180 na, how much is remainder? 12. So half of 18 is 9. So it is greater than 9. So it is greater than 10.5. I'm assuming it to be 10.5 something. 10.5 into 5 na is 53.33. Because it is greater than 50 for sure. So 53.33 should be the answer. Since the bullet is fired from a moving van, the resultant speed can be obtained as, what will happen? This 8.33 will get added to the existing 150. So what will be the answer? 158.33. Since both the vehicles are moving in the same direction, the velocity with which the bullet hits the thief car can be obtained as. How do you find the velocity with which it is going to hit? Since both the vehicles are traveling, the velocity with which the bullet hits the thief's car. So the absolute velocity of the bullet minus the velocity of the so it should actually hit with 8.33, but there is no option. Since both the vehicles are moving in the same direction, okay, the velocity with which the bullet hits the thief's car is 158.33. 158.33 minus 53.33. How much is the answer? 158.33, 53.33, 105. Yeah. So the bullet is actually hitting the thief's car with a speed of 105. What is the difference between the speed of the police van and car in meter per second? So 53.33 minus 8.33. What is the difference between the speed of the police van? Speed of the police van, 8.33, and the car 53.33. What is the difference? 53 minus 8 should come out as 46. 45 something should come.
45.
But 45 option is not there, no? So this is not there. I think anyways you would have got the questions only till here. This question would have been removed. Okay. So I hope you are clear, right?
Yes, sir.
Actually a simple question only. So whenever you are solving your paper, ensure you're starting with section C first. So section C will be comparatively easier. You see, these 4 lines are useless actually. After that only they started what is the technical question. Okay. Shall we move on to the next one?
Okay, sir.
The next is test 2. Yeah. So listen. To find the sum of the vectors A vector and B vector, we place the vector B vector so that for they're indirectly asking what is the statement of the triangle of addition of vectors. What is the answer? So A vector, B vector, correct? To find the sum of A vector and B vector, we place the B vector so that the B vector's tail is coinciding with the head of A vector. Correct? So which of the physical quantities is a vector quantity? Density, scalar, number of moles, number is a scalar, angular frequency, acceleration. Which one is right? Acceleration. So there is unit vector. A unit vector is a vector having magnitude of 1 and points in
X direction.
X direction would be a unit vector in the X direction, that is I cap.
Any direction.
It can be any direction. No? The reason why cyclists bank when taking a sharp turn is to what?
Option
Bank
D.
means Yeah. Option
B.
D.
B is right. Okay, to supply the sidewise centripetal acceleration required to make the direction change. So whenever your banking concept comes, banking is circular motion. For every circular motion, there should be a centripetal force that is coming into picture. Okay. 5th one. The horizontal range of a projectile at an angle of 15 degrees is 50 meters. If it is fired with the same speed at an angle of 45 degrees, its range would be
100.
100. Is it getting doubled? So initially u square sine 30 divided by g is 50. U square sine 90 divided by g will be how much? If I take this to be x, u square by g and u square by g will get cancelled. Sine 30 is half is equal to 50 divided by x, cross multiply, x is 100, correct? So there is an arbitrary vector A in a plane that can be expressed in terms of x and y components as A vector is equal to
C.
It is C. Ax I cap plus Ay j cap, where Ax and Ay are called as the rectangular components or the coefficients of I cap and j cap. So two vectors are equal if the magnitude and direction are the same for both. The direction is same for both, magnitude is same for the two vectors have opposite something is given. So opposite answer is the magnitude and direction are same for both. Right. Which of the following physical quantities is a vector? Temperature, scalar, impulse, vector, charge, scalar, gravitational potential, scalar. So impulse is the answer. Null vector or a zero vector has a magnitude exactly equal to 0. Vector addition is it commutative?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it is. Because a vector plus b vector is the same as b vector plus a vector. Answer is it is commutative. Rocket engines lift a rocket from the Earth's surface because hot gases with high velocity. What will they do?
They react against the rocket and push it up.
That's it. So it's basically like Newton's third law. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So bullet is fired from a rifle. If the rifle recoils freely, then the kinetic energy of the rifle is obviously
Less than that of it.
less than that of bullet. It cannot be more than that. Had it been more than that, it would have damaged our body. So 13. There is a cricket ball of mass 150 gram, which has an initial velocity of 3 I cap plus 4 j cap meter per second, and the final velocity v vector is equal to minus 3 I cap plus 4 j cap after hitting it. The change in momentum. So what is the formula for change in momentum? Delta P is equal to final minus P initial. What is P final? 150 grams is how much? 0.15 kilogram. 0.15 multiplied with minus 3 I cap plus 4 j cap minus of the same 0.15 multiplied with 3 I cap plus 4 j cap. What will be the answer? So minus of 2 times of this value, that will be 0.3 into 3 I cap plus 4 j cap. So this will get multiplied inside. So 0.9 times I cap plus 1.2 times j cap with a negative sign. Answer is B. That's it. 14th. When several forces act on an object, what will happen? The effect on its motion is the same as when a single force and algebraic force only in the horizontal direction acts on the body. The effect of motion is the same as when single force acts on the body. The effect of its motion will be equal to single force equal to the algebraic sum of the forces. The effect of its motion is the same as when single force equal to the vector sum of the forces act on the body. What is the answer?
Vector
14th
sum.
one, vector sum. This is called as principle of superposition. Okay. If you don't know this word, please make a note. An object has a mass of 5 kg is acted upon by a force of minus 3 I cap plus 4 j cap Newton. If its initial velocity at t is equal to 0 is this much value, the time at which it will just have a velocity along the y-axis is what? So how to do this? What are they asking? So the mass of the object is given. Yeah.
Sir,
If you know the force, how? Yeah. Tell me that.
we can equate velocity of x-axis as 0.
Okay. So velocity along ux is how much then? You want to say ux? Okay. Ux is how much? 6. Correct? Sorry, uy then because they are asking. We will have y then okay. Then vx should be how much? It should be 0.
Yes,
What is
sir.
ax? It is minus 3 divided by 5. That is minus 0.6 meter per second square. Correct?
Divided by 6.
Why does 6? Sir? Oh, you took. Okay. So v minus u is equal to at. So v is 0 minus 6 is equal to a is minus 0.6 times t. So what will be the value of time? Time is equal to 6 divided by 0.6. It will be 10. Is there an option of 10?
Yes.
15 answer is B, 10 seconds. 16th. There is a particle of mass m which is moving with a uniform velocity v1. It is given an impulse such that it's, sorry, I pressed something, wait. It is given an impulse such that its velocity becomes v2. The impulse is equal to, we know the formula for impulse. There are two things. One is force into time, or impulse is also called as,
Change in momentum.
what is the answer then?
Option A.
Option A.
That's right. 17th. There is a car of mass m which starts from rest and acquires a velocity
Sir,
along. Tell me that.
sir, impulse is a rate of change of momentum or just change in momentum?
Rate of change of momentum is force law.
Okay.
Newton's second law. Seriya?
Okay.
A car of mass m starts from rest and acquires a velocity along east as v is equal to vi cap in 2 seconds. Assuming the car moves with uniform acceleration, the force exerted on the car will be. They told uniform acceleration. Okay. What will be the answer? So car is starting from rest. So initial velocity is 0 and its velocity is this much value, which is a non-zero value, not equal to 0, and it is positive also. Correct? So is the object accelerating or decelerating? It is accelerating. A car moves with uniform acceleration. So we know that v square so how much time are there? Oh, they told 2 seconds. I was searching for this. So then we can take v is equal to u plus 80. V evolada? V is v only, u is 0 plus acceleration is a into time is 2 seconds. So acceleration is v by 2. What will be the force exerted on the car? mv by 2. mv by 2, I see every option is there. So is that mv by 2 exerted by the engine? More than mv by 2 not possible, especially when friction is acting. mv by 2 eastward is due to the friction on the tires? No. mv by 2 eastward and is exerted by the car engine. So this is there, this is also there, but which one makes more sense? So A is there, D is there. Both are saying that it is exerted by the car engine. Then which one is more appropriate? Is it not D? Because they are asking about force. When you're talking about force, along with the magnitude, you should also say the direction because it's a vector quantity. So for me, the option number D, the option D makes more sense. Okay. Next, what is the momentum of a 1 lakh kilogram truck whose velocity is 20 meters per second? So this is 10 power 5 into 20. So that is 2 into, how much is it? I think there is no option. So it will be 2 into 10 power 6.
Sir, can you explain 17 points? Why can't it be friction?
See, when the object is with friction, okay, when the object is moving with friction, then how can its velocity be, how can the force be more than this value?
Sir, option C.
mv by 2 is moving eastward due to the friction on the tires exerted by the road. Is the friction the one responsible to put the car into motion? So who is the preliminary responsible? Who takes the preliminary responsibility of the car to go into motion? You prioritize and see, is it the car's engine or the car's, this one, the friction on the road?
Sir, here if we assume the car as system, then the force exerted by engine will be internal, right?
Okay, but they didn't ask whether internal or external, right? So my question is, this acceleration is attained by the car due to whom? Tell me.
Engine.
Engine, right? That acceleration multiplied with mass will give you the force exerted by engine only, no? Correct?
Yes, sir.
That is the reason.
Sir?
Ah.
Sir, same question, sir. Like, sir, they are given like velocity is non-zero and positive, right, sir?
Yeah.
So that's why we need to take like it's along east, and hence we are taking eastward, sir, in the answer.
Yeah, that is the reason. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Sir, moreover here, in case the answer was friction, it should act westward, right?
It should have acted like that is also there, but here that is also there. So it should have been westward because friction would have acted in the leftward direction. That is also there. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So there is a ball which is traveling with a uniform translatory motion. This means that all parts of the body have the same velocity. The center of the ball moves with a constant velocity and ball spins about its center uniformly. The path can be a straight line or circular and the ball travels with uniform speed. It is at rest.
Is it yes?
Answer should be A. All parts of the body have same velocity, magnitude, and direction, and the velocity is constant. That is the right answer. So if you take a ball, every part present in it to have the same velocity. So conservation of momentum in collision between the particles can be understood from. So where do we derive the conservation of momentum from? What does conservation of momentum state? What is the principle of conservation of
Sir,
momentum?
both Newton second and third law.
Yes, I'm asking about the statement. When the net external force acting on the system is zero, then the linear momentum of the system is said to be conserved. So it can be understood from both Newton's second and third law. Okay, 21st question. So there is a man of mass 70 kilograms stands on a weighing scale in a lift which is moving upwards with a uniform speed of 10 meters per second. What would be the reading if the lift mechanism failed and it hurtled down freely under gravity?
0 kg.
Huh?
0 kg.
Here's the answer. So when the object is falling under so what is the concept involved here is, if there is a lift like this, there is a person standing here. So the person's weight is acting down, right? Person's weight is acting down and there will be a reaction force acting in the upward direction. Right? So if suppose the lift had been moving in the upward direction, what would have happened? Suppose there is a lift which is moving in the upward direction, what would have happened? What would have been the value of the reaction force that would have been captured? So we know that,
mg.
can I say R minus mg is equal to ma? So R will be equal to m into g plus a. So this is the value of reaction force that would have acted had the lift moved in the upward direction. Means the weighing machine will show this much value. Okay. Similarly, had the lift been moving in the downward direction, what would have happened? Mg minus R is equal to ma. R would have been m into g minus a. Now, what is the value of a they are trying to talk about? Acceleration is acceleration due to gravity. If you substitute it here, the reaction force acting on the body is 0. The reaction force is 0. Weighing machine also show a 0 kilogram. Okay. So if somebody doesn't know this, please make a note. There's another example. Have you ever gone in exhibitions? You have these giant wheels, right? The flywheels will be there where you will be sitting and it will go in a circular motion like this. Here you will have it in the theme parks also. So have you ever observed this? When you go in the upward direction, you will feel so heavy, whereas when you're coming in the downward direction, you will feel as if you're floating in the air. Have you ever observed this?
Yes,
So
sir.
if not, observe it next time. There's a concept involved behind it. There's a physics behind it. Okay.
Sir, so in this question, the person's head will be touching the roof of the lift.
No, nothing like that, bro. Nothing of that sort. It is something. See, first of all, this can't happen in real time. Okay. You imagine a lift falling under the influence of gravity. It is literally an accident. Okay, this can't happen. There's only a theoretical question. Means if you place a weighing machine there, this is what happens. Actually, there is a concept called as pseudo force, which I cannot explain it here. Okay, with that we can explain things better, because I have to explain about inertial, non-inertial frames. So it is not like this person will go and bang against the roof of the ceiling or something like that. Nothing of that sort. If the weighing machine is there, right? If it is an analog one, that pointer is there. No, that pointer will be staying at the center itself. That is what the theory says. Okay.
This is an non-inertial frame, right?
There is a non-inertial frame. Yes, provided you're solving the problem from the person's perspective. Whereas if you're standing outside and solving, then it is inertial frame.
Inertial, yes.
Then it is inertial. Okay. Anyways, let's not get into the details of frames of reference. So this is the concept. I hope everybody made a note of it. All right. Next time if this question comes, ensure that you're using the right formula. Okay, let me go to the next one. So there is an object of mass m that hits normally on a rigid wall with a velocity of v and bounces back with the same velocity. The impulse experienced by the object is. Impulse is change in momentum. So the object hits with a momentum of mv and it is bouncing back with the same momentum mv but with a negative direction. So what will be the change in momentum? Minus mv, it will be minus 2 mv. Here, since they didn't say which direction is positive and which is negative, I'm taking this 2 mv into consideration. Seriana? 23rd. If the reaction is R and the coefficient of friction is mu, what will be the work done against friction in moving a body by a distance t? Why this question came here? So what is the formula for work done? Work done is equal to force into displacement into cos theta. So object is moving in the rightward direction and the friction is acting in this direction, mu r, and the displacement is in this direction. So what is the answer? Mu r into d multiplied with cos of 180 degrees. So cos 180 is minus, so mu minus mu r d is the 24th. A man of mass 60 kilogram and a boy of mass 30 kilogram are standing together on a frictionless ice surface. If they push each other, the man moves with a speed of 0.4 meter per second relative to ice. After 5 seconds, they will be away from each other at a distance of how much value? How to solve this?
Sir, in the last question, sir, we are not taking mg into consideration, sir.
No, see, you can take that. This is also right only. Mu mg into d is also right, but options are not there. No? See, generally frictional force is mu into Endra. That is more appropriate for me, not mg. So that is why they gave all the option in terms of reaction. Try to understand that.
Sir,
Okay.
won't the reaction force and mg won't cancel out?
In this case, no, they won't get cancelled out because R is equal to mg. In this case, reaction force is equal to mg. Whereas if the same problem was like this, mass of the object is like this, they had given you R, then the reaction force would have been mg cos theta, where this is theta. Are you able to understand? So next time onwards, ensure if you see the formula for friction, don't remember it as mu mg, remember it as mu, that is the coefficient of friction multiplied with the normal reaction. Sharia?
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So there is a man of mass 60 kilogram and a boy. So they both are standing on a frictionless ice surface. If they push each other apart, okay, the man moves away with a speed of 0.4 meter per second relative to ice. After 5 seconds, they will be away from each other at a distance of how much value? So listen to this. The man is moving in this direction with a speed of 0.4 meter per second. Relative to ice here means relative to ground because ice is not moving. So what is the speed with which the boy will move in the backward direction? If I call it as V, in this case, what is happening? The total force acting on the system is zero. Total external force acting on the system is zero. Right? Because the boy and the man put together is a system. They both are pushing against each other. So it is an internal force. So here the momentum is said to be conserved. So this guy's, that is man's momentum, is exactly equal to the boy's momentum. Okay, but they both are in opposite direction. That is the only difference. So 60 into 0.4 is equal to 30 into V with a negative sign. So this and this will get cancelled. So V will be equal to minus 0.8 meter per second. Okay, 0.8 meter per second. So what will be the distance that this guy, the man, would have traveled? The man would have traveled a distance of 2 meters in 5 seconds. And this guy would have traveled a distance of 4 meters in 5 seconds. So 2 meter in this and 4 meter in this, then what will be the distance of separation between them? 6 meters. Okay. 25th. There is an aircraft that executes a horizontal loop at a speed of 720 km per hour with its wings banked at 15 degrees. What is the radius of the loop? So what is the answer? So what is the formula, guys, in the first place? Tan theta is equal to V square divided by R into G. So R is equal to V square divided by G tan theta. So V square is 720 into 5 divided by 18. This will go 40 times. So 200 square divided by G, I take it as 10 for the time being. Multiplied with tan 15 degrees. Tan 15, you can write as tan of 45 minus 30 and then find the value. Okay, tan of 45 minus 30. It will be root 3 minus 1 by root 3 plus 1. Okay, after you solve everything, the answer will come out to be 15.24 kilometers. Can I rub this? Listen. There is a man who stands on the roof of a 15-meter tall building and throws a rock at a speed of 30 meters per second at an angle of 33 degrees above the horizontal. You can ignore air resistance, calculate the maximum height above the roof that the rock reaches. So what is the formula for maximum height? So what is the formula they told with a speed of 30 meters per second? What is the formula for maximum height? U square sine square theta divided by 2g. So 30 square sine square 33 degrees divided by 2 into g is 10. So since we don't know what is the exact value of 33, sine 30 is somewhere closer to half. So it will be slightly greater than half. Okay. So 30 square is 900 divided by 20. This and this will get cancelled. 45 into, it will be somewhere around 1 by 4. So what is the answer, guys? Let's say it is 2.1. So then it would have been 21 into 21 is 441, right? It will be somewhere around 4.41. So 45 divided by 4 is somewhere around 11 something. So what is the answer? above the horizontal, 33 degrees above the.
Sir, we can't apply the formula directly, right? Because he's throwing it from like about 15 meters from the earth.
Now, what I did is, see, since the question you can ignore, calculate the maximum height above the roof that the rock reaches. So he's saying above this roof is what they're asking, correct? So what I did is, I took this as the origin and then started solving. But am I missing something is what I'm thinking. Okay, let's try to solve this problem in a different perspective. You want me to take the bottom as the origin and then solve, right? Let me try and see that. Just 33 degrees. How high from the roof will the object reach? It should make the same thing, the u square sine square theta divided by 2g. It should not make any difference because the same thing, there's called a shifting of origin concept according to mathematics. That is the logic I used. Okay, let's see. See, if I take this point as the origin, this ui. So at this point, the velocity is 0. The velocity of the y component is 0. So vy square minus uy square is equal to 2 into acceleration along y direction into the displacement. Vy square is 0 minus uy square is how much term? U square sine square 33 is equal to 2 into acceleration is 9.8 into height is how much? That's what we need to find. So height is equal to u square sine square 33. Raghav, we are able to understand the same thing. Maybe I'm not. I think the answer is 11.7, but the answer given here is 13.6. It is because maybe I took it as 10 and they took it as 9.8. So using the same formula, can you guys calculate it later and see? The formula is right, u square sine square theta divided by 2g. And moreover, we don't know the value of 33 degrees. I should have given it as 30 degrees. Okay. So, but the same formula is applicable. This part I'm leaving it to you. The answer is given as 13.6. Next time in the exam, if this question comes, ensure you ask your teacher of what is the value of 33 degrees. Okay. And what is the value of g you're supposed to take. Next. So there is a man who can swim with a speed of 4 km per hour in still water. How long does it take for him to cross a river of 1 km wide? If the river flows steadily at a rate of 3 km per second and makes his strokes normal to the river current, how far down the river does he go when he reaches the other bank? So the river is like this. So the person starts like this. So the velocity of man with respect to, so the velocity of the man in still water is 4 km per hour. Okay. So what is the width of the river? It is 1 kilometer. 1 kilometer. If the river flows steadily, so the velocity of the river is 3. So the velocity of the man with respect to the river will be 5. Correct? They told he makes the strokes normal to the river current. Normal means perpendicular to the river current. So what the time he is going to take to reach the other end? Time is equal to speed of the man, sorry, distance, that is 1000 meter or 1 kilometer divided by 1 divided by 4. That is 0.25 hour. So 0.25 hours is how many minutes now?
15.
So 15 minutes should be the answer.
Sir,
Tell me.
how are you taking like velocity of man with respect to river is 4 kilometer?
They told it's still water only, no? Or you want me to take, so you're thinking this velocity of man with respect to river, why I'm taking? Why did I take 4 into consideration and why not 5? Is that your question?
Yes, sir.
Okay, because 1 kilometer is in this direction. This 4 kilometer is also in the same direction. So obviously to find the time, what will I take into consideration? If I say time is equal to distance by speed. So the distance that is covered in a particular, actually distance covered in a particular direction means this is the distance, 1 kilometer, divided by the speed in that particular direction. So that is why I divided both these quantities.
Okay, sir.
Okay, you will get this 750 by multiplying this 3 with 0.25. Means that is the drift he has taken place in the horizontal direction. Means if you have started at this point, you would have got drifted by 750 meters on the other part. Okay. Next. The batter hits a baseball so that it leaves the bat with a speed of V0 is equal to 37 meters per second at an angle alpha is equal to 53.1 degrees. Find the horizontal range R. That is the horizontal distance from the starting point to the point where the ball hits the ground. What is the horizontal range formula? R is equal to U square sine 2 theta divided by G. Or I can write U square into sine theta into cos theta divided by G. So U square is 37. So 37 square into 2 into, remember sine 53 is 4 by 5. Cos 53 is 3 by 5 divided by G is 9.8. So this is the value that you're supposed to remember. Sine 53 is the same as cos 37 is the same as 4 by 5. Similarly, sine 37 is the same as cos 53 is the same as 3 by 5. Okay. I think the same question is repeated again, right? Find the position of the ball and its velocity at t is equal to 2 seconds. So at t is equal to 2 seconds, how do I find the velocity and the position and velocity of the? Find the position Okay. So how to find the velocity of the object after 2 seconds? See, the object is moving in this direction, right? After 2 seconds, let's assume the object is here. So 37 cos 53 is the velocity in this direction. 37 sine 53 is the velocity in this direction. T is equal to 2 seconds. Correct? So velocity along x direction is equal to ux plus ax into t. So vx is equal to 37 cos 53. So 37 into what is the value of cos 53, guys? Just 3 by 5. Similarly, what will be the velocity of the object in y direction? Uy plus ay into t. Uy is 37 sine 53 plus what is the value of ay? Minus g into t. T is 2 seconds. Okay. find this value and you will have this value. Take the square root of both, that will give you the answer. Okay, the answer that is given here is 24.4. I think there's a textbook problem which is slightly modified. 30th,
Sir, can we use equation of trajectory here?
you can use equation, but that will give you the y position. You don't know the x position of the object, right? It says y is equal to x tan theta minus gx square by 2u square cos square theta. You don't know the position of x, right? How will you use it? You're able to understand what I'm trying to say?
Yes, sir.
So particle starts from the origin at t is equal to 0 with a velocity of 10 j cap meter per second, moves in the xy plane with a constant acceleration of this textbook question diagram. At what time is the x coordinate of the particle 16 meter? What are the y coordinate of the particle at that time? So x coordinate is 16. Initial velocity along x direction is 0. Acceleration along x direction is 8. So s is equal to ut plus half at t square. 16 is equal to half into 8 into t square, 4. So t will be 2 seconds. 2 seconds, only option is this. So we can define the difference of two vectors a and b as the sum of two vectors a and b dash, such that b dash is equal to what? So a vector minus b vector can be written as a vector plus b dash vector. So what is b dash vector? It is minus 1 times b vector. Next. A swimmer wishes to cross 500-meter wide river flowing at 5 km per hour. The speed with respect to the water is 3 km per hour. If he hits in direction making an angle theta with the flow, find the time it takes to cross the river. So what should I say? So this is the velocity of the man, which is 3 km per hour. And the river is flowing with a speed of 5 km per hour. If he heads in a direction making an angle 30 degrees with the flow, okay, 30 degrees with the flow, then this will be 3 sine 30 degrees. That is 3 by 2. Oh, 30, yeah, theta, sorry. 3 sine theta. So this will be 3 sine theta. And this is 500 meters wide. So time is equal to distance by speed. So 500 divided by 3 sine theta. But 3 is in kilometer per hour. Okay. So 500 is in meter. 500 divided by 3 into kilometer. I should convert it to meter. So it becomes 3000 into sine theta divided by meters. Minutes are given, seconds are given. So how should I do? 1 hour is how many seconds? 3600. Let me cancel this and see. 1 0 is gone. If we go 12 times, so 12 will go to the numerator. 60 divided by sine theta, correct? 60 divided by sine theta is in seconds. Okay, it is not working. 500 divided by 300 divided by, sorry, 3000 meter divided by 1 hour is how many minutes? It is 60 minutes into sine theta. This and this will get cancelled. If you go 50 times, this and this will get cancelled. 10 divided by sine theta in terms of minutes. So this is the option. It's a good question and a tricky one. 10 divided by sine theta minutes is the answer. But I hope you guys understood why I took it as 3 sine theta. The same logic as we used for the previous problem. So whatever is the direction, or whatever is the distance between the two shores, divided with the velocity in that particular direction. Okay, 33rd. There is a ball that is dropped from a height. If it takes 2.2 seconds to cross the last 6 minutes before hitting the ground. Find the height from which it is dropped. How many of you solved this? So there is a ball that is dropped from a height. Okay. And if it takes 0.2 seconds to cross the last 6 meters before hitting the ground, find the height from which it was dropped. So 6 meters, it took 2 seconds. Okay. So acceleration is g. So if I know what is the velocity of the object at this point, I'll be able to calculate the remaining height h dash. So if you add that h dash to 6, that will give you the total height. So how to find the velocity at point B? So I can say s is equal to ut plus half at square. So the initial velocity between the journey B and C would have been the final velocity between A and B. So what is the displacement? 6 is equal to u into the time is 2 seconds plus half into acceleration due to gravity. If I take it as 10 into 4, this will go 5 times 5 into 2, 20. So u, 2u. Why am I getting a negative value? It is 0.2 seconds. So 6 is equal to 0.2u plus half into 10 into 0.2 the whole square. This will cancel 5 times. 6 is equal to 0.2u plus 5 into 0.04. So 5 into 0.04 is 0.2. So 6 minus 0.2 is equal to 0.2u. So what is the initial velocity? It is 5.8 divided by 0.2. It is 58 divided by 2. So this will be 29. So the speed here is 29 meters per second, and here the velocity is 0. So using v square minus u square is equal to 2as, you can find out h dash. You can add that h dash to 6, and that will give you the answer. And the answer given here is, anybody who has solved this and got the answer?
$48.05.
48. What is this question number? 33rd. 33rd, yeah. Option given is D, 48.05. Okay. The speed of a projectile when it is at its greatest height is root 2 by 5 times the speed at half of the maximum height. What is the angle of projection? So what is the speed with which the particle will be at the top? It is u cos theta. So u cos theta is equal to root 2 times root of 2 by 5. So speed of a projectile when it is at its greatest height is root of 2 by 5 times the speed of the at max half of the maximum. At the highest point, the speed is u cos theta. At half of the maximum height, how do we solve this? It's a slightly tricky one because here also the velocity will be u cos theta, but what about the y component of the velocity? So this height is u square
U
sine
sin
square
theta.
u square sine square theta by 4g, correct? Because that is half of the maximum height. So velocity along y direction minus, so vy square minus uy square is equal to 2 into ay into sy. So vy square velocity at this point is what you need to find, minus u square sine square theta is equal to 2 into acceleration due to gravity is g And the displacement of the object is, sorry, minus g u square sine square theta divided by 4g. So this and this will get cancelled 2 times. So Vy square will be equal to u square sine square theta minus u square sine square theta divided by 2. So what will happen? It will be u square sine square theta divided by 2. So what will be the value of Vy? Vy will be u sine theta divided by root 2. So the velocity of the object along y direction is u sine theta divided by root 2. And the velocity of the object along x direction at that point is still u cos theta. I hope everyone is clear till this step. Is there anyone having a doubt? Now listen. So half of maximum height Vy is u sine theta divided by root 2. Vx is u cos theta. And highest point u cos theta. So what did they say? The speed at the highest point is equal to root of 2 by 5 times square root of this plus this. That is u square sine square theta by 2 plus u square cos square theta. So u square is gone. So squaring on both the sides, cos square theta is equal to 2 by 5 into sine square theta by 2 plus cos square theta. So 3 by 5 times cos square theta, 3 by 5 times cos square theta is equal to 1 by 5 times sine square theta. Cancel it. Tan square theta is equal to 3, which implies tan theta is equal to root 3. What did they ask for the question?
Angular projection.
Oh, okay. Tan theta is equal to root 3.
60 degrees.
So that is the answer. It's a very, very good question. Okay. And I'll do one more problem and then with that we can stop. So we have school tomorrow.
We have with the online, sir.
Same till 1 p.m. Everybody?
Yeah.
Other schools? Okay. Okay, then after this problem, we can wind up and tomorrow's class also will have something like this. So 35, there is an object of mass 40 kilogram resting on a horizontal, rough horizontal surface. Is subjected to a force P, which is just enough to start the motion of the object. So mass is given as 40 kilogram. Is subjected to a force P, which is just enough to start the motion. If mu s is 0.5 and mu k is 0.4 and g is 10 meters per second square, and the force P is continuously applied on the body, then the acceleration of the body is how much? So there is a force that is applied, horizontal force P. This horizontal force has to overcome the kinetic friction for the object to be in acceleration. So can I write P minus mu k times n is equal to mass of the object into acceleration? So what is the value of P that is applied? What is the value of P that is applied? So what is the value of P that that we need to apply so that the object starts sliding? It is mu s into n minus mu k into n is equal to mass of the object. So this is the trickiest part because they didn't give us what is the value of force. So mu s is how much? Half into, in this case, n will be equal to mg, that is mg minus mu k is 1 by 4. Sorry, 0.4. So I can write it as 4 by 10. 4 by 10 is 2 by 5. 2 by 5 times mg is equal to mass of the object into acceleration. M will get cancelled. So g by 2 minus 2g by 5 is the acceleration. How much is it? So that will give you g by 10 is the acceleration. So g is 9
One.
point. So they told g can be taken as 10 now.
Yes, sir. They
Yes,
gave the question.
We can. They gave no g as 10. So 10 divided by 10 is going to give us 1. Okay, I think the next one is easy. We'll finish that also. What is the minimum velocity with which an object M must enter into a vertical loop of radius r so that it can complete the loop? So what should be the minimum velocity that should be given at the bottom so that it completes a vertical circular motion? This is a theoretical question. So if you go and see, I would have taught this as a theory. Velocity at point A is root 5 gr. Velocity at point B is root 3 gr. Velocity at point C is root gr. Okay. So have this in your mind. This you need not solve. Answer is root 5 times g into r. So remaining problems we'll solve it tomorrow. Okay. And then we'll go to the next worksheet. We'll have class like how we had it today. Okay. That's it, guys. And one more minute. I told you about the DPTs, right? They'll be starting from tomorrow. I forgot to drop the message. You'll get it by today. Okay, you can take it from your app itself.
Sir,
Please tell.
sir, what is the velocity at center point that B, sir? In the
Root 3 gr.
and at
Root of-
C, sir?
And at C is, so this is velocity at P. Velocity at C is root of gr. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So this is actually a problem in textbook, an example problem in textbook. This is actually for competitive exam, this is taught as a concept itself. So if you revisit your notes or go through the lecture again, there I would have shown you what is the derivation. Okay. That's it, guys. We can wind up.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, I have been marked as absent, sir.
What time did you come?
I came early, sir.
You came at?
Before class starts, I came, sir.
Okay, I'll ask them to check. Srini,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes, sir.